If we miss this shot, we have to redo this entire farm. Oh, I dropped it instead. All right, no, but this time for real. Oh, man.
You missed the basketball hoop, didn't you? You missed it.
Yeah, I even tried a couple other times to try and cheat it, and no, I missed every single time. So, King, it sounds like to me, we are redoing this lucky subscriber's entire farm for them.
Honestly, it shouldn't be too bad. I'm gonna go jump up in the air if that's fine.
Yeah, let's take a look at the layout here.
Let's do it. So coming up and just taking a general look at it, it's not a bad layout. It really isn't. And to the request of the subscriber, they said, so at least from what I'm understanding from the description that the subscriber sent in of kind of what they were thinking, they were wanting a horse farm, semi-similar-ish American-style horse farm to what we kind of did on Flint Hills.
That is correct. They have a cattle operation right now, and they want us to expand it into a horse operation as well.
It's not that it's bad, don't get me wrong. I don't know. This to me, this is going to be a phenomenal idea. To me, it's a lot of fun. The only thing is I hope people don't get upset if I...
Yeah, anything that we say, we don't mean anything mean by it. It's just our critiques, our personal critiques to your design. No, there is no right or wrong. It's whatever fits your need or what your style is. But as you sent this to us, we are going to critique it and adjust it to per our style.
For what we're seeing thus far, I mean, it's completely flat. And obviously this area has some curve to it. It's not much, just a little bit of rolling hills. And I think what we can do is completely replace all of this. So what we did is we took screenshots of everything in the layout that it is right now. And we're going to start from ground zero. So we're going to do a new save of Lone Oak and send this back to the subscriber. And we're going to replace everything in sort of the same exact order that it is right now, but on the actual land itself. And we'll curve the land to the buildings and just kind of customize it a little bit better so you get more texture to the land itself, because not everything in real life is completely flat. I think we could also, I don't know what you think, Jake, but I think we can condense these sheds just a little bit more, get them just a little tighter together and save some room.
My thoughts so far. First, I have to compliment that they did separate farm traffic from house traffic, and I do like that.
Phenomenal job. Phenomenal job. Completely separated.
Yes, but moving from there, when I look at this layout, when I think about what's high traffic area, it's obviously this main portion right in the front with the two sheds there. Then you come around this back, and this can actually be kind of a mid to, it's going to be fairly high traffic over near the bins and this barn.
Yep.
So this section behind the house is actually going to be high traffic, which isn't necessarily what you would really want, nor do you want the bins near your house, because those are actually quite loud, or at least they can be when you use them. So
fans, yeah, when you got single bins like that, you got fans in the back that are going to help with drying over time to get your moisture pulled out of the whatever. Usually it's corn and soybean, at least in Midwest, and obviously you got oats, you got all wheat, any kind of plant really, but the fans.
So
pretty loud.
What I'm thinking is we take a little bit of creative liberty here, and we actually move the location of these bins back to right over where you're flying, back behind this large bin area on the other side of this barn, gets it away from the house, and it shifts that high traffic area from the house's backyard to more so this entire farm area as it would more be intended to be, right?
All right. Well, what do you think, Jake? Should we get after this build?
I think so. First steps first is to get rid of this flatness and see what the natural land has for us to offer, because that might adjust what our plans are going to be here. So let's take a look and see what that's like.
All right, Jake. So we ended up wiping the field clean, didn't we?
Yep. We restored the hill back to how it formerly was, and we went ahead and painted grass in here for a nice base layer so we can see what we're going to be doing a little bit easier.
And as I said before, we are completely fine with hills. We will smooth those out. But I did end up turning the house just a little bit here so that we can gain ourselves a little bit of a backyard area. We'll be able to paint that in with grass as well.
So I'm thinking we should probably maintain that two drive system like he had. But I kind of want to move his drive, and I want to know what your thoughts are on this. Maybe we don't do this. Maybe we change it just a little bit. But I would kind of like to see his drive come off of this area right here for the farm. What are your opinions on that?
I would agree. We can kind of change that up a little bit.
So while you're placing down these sheds and stuff in the rough vicinity of where you had them, I'm just marking out in front of the doorways so we know roughly where those are on those barns, so we can keep that in mind.
Just placing the sheds back similar to what they were. I believe I got the correct sizes for the sheds, but if I'm not mistaken, they should be correct here. We got the bigger red shed there, the millennial toy shed, and all we did is just kind of squeeze up the shed spacing a little bit so we can bring that gravel road in, have access to these sheds, but still have enough space to come on through, even with a little bit larger equipment in between the sheds leading up to the rest of the farm.
So because this is the main entrance and it's going to be the highest traffic portion of the farm, I am going to give it a rather wide driveway here. I believe you want it to go somewhere along like this. Do you want that a little closer to that shed, or is that about a good spacing there?
It should be pretty good spacing right there.
And then it'll kind of run back through this area. All right, King, what's the next thing that you want to look at here? Maybe do we want to look at those bins and see if there's a better place for us to put those bins now?
I'm definitely thinking bins next. I don't necessarily think you would want those right by the house. I do believe up here by the main entrance now for the farm, it would be kind of better to put those bins up in this corner. That way you can separate off that traffic and the noises furthest away from the house.
I think I like that. I think it works pretty well. It's right up there, kind of a front staple of the farm. You pulling up, you got the bins right there. You pull in right on the other side of the bins, which seems like a very natural move. You got your sheds here, all kind of centrally located. All of this stuff is fairly tight, which is more so how it would tend to be. What do you think about this V up here by these sheds? I feel like if you're going to these bins, you're probably going to need a little bit more room. You're probably going to want to pull in as if you're going through the back, but then you turn right before the sheds to turn on over there.
All right, Jake. So we went ahead and we found a different barn. This one is a public release on Facebook. It's called the Dusty Barn by JMF Modding. We're going to go ahead. We're going to send this one over. Thought this would be a much better fit. It kind of fills into the barn a little bit better. What do you think?
Yeah, I like this barn a whole lot better than the other one we were using. That other one just didn't quite fit what we were looking for. And I think overall, the look from this, it fits the farm feel just a little bit better. And one of my favorite things is actually that large harvest or silo. It kind of rounds off the skyline of this farm quite nicely.
I tried to go ahead and set it off just a little bit so there was some more room coming out of our longer shed.
Right.
Hopefully we can get some larger equipment through here, but still keep that tight feel. I also set it up higher as well because we had an issue with the ground over here wanting to give way for the bottom of the map where it's invisible. So I want to bring that up a little bit. So we'll go ahead, smooth this out, and we'll continue on with the rest of the expansion here of the new items with we got pasture, fencing left, right?
Yep, so we've got to now implement, we've pretty much rectified the farm that was previous. We've replaced the cattle barn. Now we just got to get the horse element added in, and then some pasture fencing done, and general detail work, and that'll be it for this build.
All right, now I did make an oopsie. We got a little bit close to the edge of the map. This is a big reason why I don't necessarily like building around the edge of the map. We are going to have to try and get trees in here too to separate the edge of the map out from the rest of the pasture area, if you will, from where the playing zone is.
A little trick if you are building along the edge of the map and you don't exactly know, because sometimes you can place things farther over because you can move your mouse physically, so it lets you adjust those areas. But what you can do is put the actual like keyboard control, that little center icon in like landscaping, you can move it all the way over and just hold it towards the direction of the edge of that map, place your mouse right in the center marker there, and then paint in a guideline, and that will tell you exactly where the border technically lies for where you can place things. All right, King, status update on the painting and everything over here. Pathways are all painted, detail painting in bits as well. Majority of grass has been painted. I've gone through and added, there's a nice like puddle texture and tire rut texture. I've added that in some key areas. It's coming along pretty nice so far. I think really only around the house here needs the grass added. And then from there, it's kind of more so adding trees, bushes, or other various things like that. But otherwise, the painting aspect is pretty much done over here.
All right, so Jake and I kind of talked about it. We did cover up the trigger points, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to kind of place a stump in here, roughly where the trigger points are on each of these, so we kind of know where those are at.
And that's just to help the person when they do come in to try and put horses in here, so they realize these are actually 3 pastures made into one large pasture. All right, King, I think we're done.
I think we are. I mean, when it comes to manipulating a farm and building, I mean, it really doesn't ever stop. There's always little things that you can always continue on, but
right.
I think this turned out awfully well, starting here with the statue.
Yeah, the statue is like a nice center point. You're coming up the driveway, you got that statue right there to the right. I think it really sets the mood and sets the boundary. You know what it does? It actually pulls us together. So originally it felt like this road would have continued through, and it felt like, you know, half the farm was on one side, the other half on the other. But with that there, it feels like you just pull into the farm. Does that make sense?
You know, we illuminated a little bit. We got some lights underneath here as well, so it should look really good at night as well. But I absolutely agree. It definitely pulls the horse pasture across from the house and the main portion of the farm. Really kind of blends it and pulls it in together. I'm looking at the sheds, kind of put in some decor, some tires and whatnot, just kind of making this farm feel, I don't know how to say it. Just not making it feel like there's just stuff everywhere, but kind of bringing it in, make it feel more homey.
Right. Making it feel like the space is actually used.
Exactly. Coming in though, we got the grain bin set up, which is looking pretty good, I would say, and wrapping around, and just again got some decor kind of around the edge, again making it look like they're actually utilizing the space. So coming on in, we did just kind of landscaped up around the house a little bit, actually made their stepway. Of course, as you guys all know, this is the house actually on Lone Oak, so there's not much to see there. I kind of made this semi-hidden, but at the same token, it is a walkway going through there. I wanted to kind of make it feel a little tight. We got our log stack there for wood for inside of the house, and coming on into the backyard, there's kind of a lot going on back here, but at the same token, it's I think it really makes the house just pop a little bit more.
All right, so, but overall, I think we did a pretty good job on this one. We're gonna be sending this back to the person who originally sent us this farm. If you guys want us to fix your farms, all you have to do is use the information in the description down below to send us the building mods that you have, the save game to your farm, as well as the map. Please remember to send us the map. That's an important one.
Kind of the big one.
I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out, King. I think we did a good job, and I hope that the subscriber that sent this in enjoys it as well. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this one. Hopefully you all enjoyed today's video. If you want us to fix your farm, then make sure you click that subscribe button and use the information down below to send us your mods and save game. All that is described in the description down below. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. Peace.
Can you picture you and me in the darkness? Kissing, touching.